Hey guys, Frank here with OCD TV, and it's episode 3 of season 5 of Pretty Little Liars that I'm going to wrap up for you right now. It's called Surfing the Aftershocks, and it kind of set the stage for what's going to happen later in the season in a way that the first 2 episodes of this season haven't. What we find out in this episode is not much, but we do explore avenues that the show really needs to address. So, first and foremost, there's a new character in town named Sydney who's on the swim team, and she's trying to get in with Emily and Paige, and there was a lot of Paley drama in the episode. Basically, Paige begging and pleading for one more shot with Emily, and Emily turning her down, but being nice about it, which I didn't really think is necessary because Paige never did anything to show her appreciation for being with Emily. In fact, she only told the police that Allison was alive to spite Emily, so I don't know why Emily feels bad about letting Paige be sad. Paige is absolutely hypocritical and does not deserve to get a second shot with Emily. So there's a new girl where I'm sure there'll be romantic avenues explored later on. So for now, that's that. Also in the episode, the liars, namely Emily and Hannah, are trying to prove that Jason is Miss DeLaurentis' killer and the person who hit Allie the night she disappeared. However, Spencer disagrees highly and says that Jason's innocent. So she does a little digging with the email, and Jason tells Spencer that he thinks, basically, that Peter sent it, and to not trust him. So being that Peter is Spencer's own father, she confronts him and Melissa, and Melissa says, should we just tell her the secret? And he says no, because she can't lie about something that she doesn't know. So this is the big secret. What do Peter and Melissa share that no one else is allowed to know? This season has to reveal that. It's the big mystery right now. What exactly is Melissa hiding? Was she involved in Allison's disappearance? Meaning, did she hit her? Is she involved in Mrs. DeLaurentis' death? Is she covering for Peter? All the questions swirling around about that storyline. It is what it is. I can't really have speculation because things change week to week with this show as to who did what. So I'm going to call Jason out right now. I know there are a lot of fan theories saying that Jason either has multiple personalities, shout out to the person who shared that on my last video, or that Jason has a twin, or Mrs. DeLaurentis has a twin, or Allison has a twin, blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to see where the show takes us with this one. I'm not going to take a guess as to who killed Mrs. DeLaurentis because last week they were trying to make us think it was Jason. This week they're trying to make us think it was Peter or Melissa. It's just going to keep going round and around. So guessing is kind of pointless when there's no evidence really right now. Also in the episode, Ezra's back in Rosewood, and we see him have 2 conversations with Arya and 1 with Allison. The first one, Arya just stumbles upon him. She's waiting at his apartment door, and she loses the courage to knock, so she starts walking away, and he opens the door, and they have a conversation about, I'm glad that you're okay, and he tells her to look out for Shauna because he doesn't know that she's dead yet. So Arya does not tell him about Shauna's death, and she goes back and talks to Allison. So then Allison goes to see Ezra and thanks him for backing up, for not, discounting her story with the police that she was kidnapped instead of hit and then ran away from A. And basically Ezra has agreed to just go along with the story. He doesn't like that Allison's lying about being kidnapped, but he's going to go along with it because that's his best option right now. And he asks Allison to tell Arya that she stopped by and that Ezra is protecting Arya. So Arya goes back to thank him for that and to tell him that she did kill Shauna. And Ezra, heroically, of course, says, how can I help you? Because he sees she's distraught about the whole ordeal and he doesn't like seeing her in pain. I love Ezra for that. I'm sure a lot of Ezra fans love him for that. And we just gotta wait to see where that storyline's gonna go. The police have yet to find out that Sean is dead. It's not a big, well-known thing yet. And as that comes to light, the liars are definitely gonna be investigated. There's no doubt in my mind that that's gonna be an overarching storyline throughout at least 5A, if not the whole 5. So the last thing left to talk about in this episode are the flashbacks from Hannah and Mona. So this episode is a lot about Hannah and how she doesn't know who she is and she wants to reinvent herself, starting now. So it flashes back to when Allison first disappeared and Mona, helped Hannah and her develop popularity through dressing differently, losing weight, etc., until they became the queen bees of the school. And Hannah confronts Mona, saying that she stole her identity and she made her become something she didn't want to be, more like Allison. And Mona disagreed and said, "You never resisted me." So Hannah resolves to take her identity back at the end of this episode, and she ends up in a hair chair where it's presumed that she's turning her hair dark. So we'll see how that looks next week. So a lot of things to look forward to in the season. A new Hannah with an all-new identity, my favorite character, so I can't wait to see where she ends up. More swirling around of who killed Mrs. DeLaurentis and hit Allie the night that she disappeared. More Jason creepiness. This new girl, Sydney, and how she's going to interact with Paige and Emily. Arya going crazy about killing Shauna and Ezra helping her. And of course, we still have to see Caleb return. He's coming back. They're going to have to take at least part of an episode to discuss the fallout from Ravenswood and why he left and why he's back and yada, yada, yada. So I'm kind of surprised he hasn't made an appearance as of yet. I'm not sure which episode he's coming back in, but he will be back. So we have to look forward to that. And we also need to know where Noel is. Being such a big part of the end of the last season, he's kind of absent in a weird way. And Allie doesn't really seem to know what's going on with Noel either, which is strange because apparently he's been helping her all this time, so she should know where he is and what he's up to, but she doesn't. So I'm not sure what that's about, to be honest. But there's a lot looking forward to in this season. Please share your PLL theories in the comments below, and please subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter, and please continue to watch my after shows. This is PLL, and I'm going to still consistently do Teen Wolf. I posted it last night, and as more shows come back, there'll be more and more of this. So thank you guys. Please like, share, subscribe, follow. I love you, and I'll see you again next week for PLL.